Ladies, let me tell you something right now, and I want you to hear me clearly. Men don't miss who's always available. They miss impact. They miss presence. So if you want to send one text that'll make that man miss you like crazy, it ain't going to be some long paragraph. It's not drama. It's not tears. It's clarity with confidence. Let me tell you something, and I want you to listen close, because this right here is the game changer. Confidence, that's the real attraction. Not beauty, not curves, not a cute selfie or some fire emoji you drop in his DMs. No. It's that quiet, unshakable confidence that makes a man stop and think, damn, how did I let her go? See, a lot of women think the way to get a man to miss you is to stay on his radar. Call him, text him, send that little I miss you or just checking on you message. But baby, let me tell you, when you do that, you're giving him exactly what he wants without him doing anything to earn it. And a man don't value what comes too easy. That's just facts. A man is built to chase. It's in our DNA. We're wired to pursue, to earn, to work for what we want. So when you hand yourself over emotionally on a silver platter, what challenge is there? What reason does he have to reflect? To miss you, to realize what he's lost? Now, when a woman moves with confidence, that changes everything. I'm talking about the kind of confidence where she doesn't need to announce her worth. She walks in it. She doesn't ask for attention, she commands it by her energy. She don't beg for a man's time because she respects her own time too much to waste it on someone who's not sure about her. That woman, she don't have to chase. Let me give it to you real. A man might not admit it out loud, but when he sees a woman that he used to have access to, now living her life, smiling, glowing, unbothered, that eats at him. Because he thought you'd be stuck. He thought you'd be crying. He thought you'd be waiting on him to come back and fix what he broke. But instead, he sees you moving different. Not with spite, not with hate, but with peace, with growth, with purpose. That right there, that's confidence. And that's what hits him in the chest at 1 a.m. when he's staring at your old messages and wondering why you haven't checked in. Wondering who's putting that smile on your face now. Confidence don't mean you don't care, it just means you care about you more than you care about holding on to someone who didn't value you the first time. And that's powerful. Because most people don't expect you to choose you. They expect you to fold, to call, to fight for a spot in their life, even when they stop showing up in yours. But when you stand tall and say, I'm not going to shrink myself for someone who couldn't see me when I was all in, that confidence becomes unforgettable. You become the standard, not just the memory. Let's talk about that one text, that one message that can make him miss you like crazy. It ain't filled with drama or tears or questions like, why did you stop talking to me? No, it's composed, it's brief, it's powerful. You say something like, hope you're good. I've been doing a lot of growing lately, just focused on my peace. Take care. You didn't accuse, you didn't cry, you didn't plead, you just dropped a little seed. A little reminder that you're no longer where he left you. You've moved forward. And you know what? That kind of message, it flips the script. Because now he's sitting there confused, wondering how you got so okay, wondering if someone helped you get there. And now he misses you. Not because you chased him, but because your confidence made him realize you're not waiting anymore. That he has something rare, something real, and he fumbled it. Confidence makes you magnetic. Not the fake kind that's loud and flashy, but the real kind that's calm and quiet and centered. The kind that don't need validation because it comes from knowing your worth without anyone having to remind you. That's the kind of energy that makes a man remember you long after the conversation ends, long after the texts stop, long after he walks away. And when you're that kind of woman, he don't just miss your body, he misses your presence, your peace, your support, your mind. That confidence reminds him of everything he once had access to and took for granted. So next time you're tempted to text him late at night, just pause, breathe, remind yourself you're not the woman who chases anymore. You're the woman who knows her value, who shows up for herself first. And if a man can't recognize that, then he's the one who lost out, not you. Because when a confident woman exits a man's life, she doesn't leave a void, she leaves a lesson. And baby, that lesson, that's what he'll be thinking about when he starts missing you like crazy. Let me tell you something that most people get twisted, especially when emotions are running high and the heart's still healing. You think the more you say, the more they'll understand. You think if you explain yourself enough, if you pour your heart out in a long message, maybe, just maybe, they'll finally get it. But the truth is, it don't work like that. Less is more. See, when you're trying to make someone miss you, chasing them with paragraphs and explanations ain't gonna do it. You know why? Because when people are used to your access, when they think they can reach out to you anytime, or worse, when they know you'll always be the first to text, they start to take you for granted. It becomes background noise. It don't hit the same anymore. But silence, a short message, something simple and powerful, that hits different. That makes a man stop and reread it. That makes him wonder, wait, what does she mean by that? Because now you've pulled your energy back. You've created mystery. And that mystery, that's what creates space for him to feel your absence, to think, to reflect, and eventually to miss you. Now listen, when you flood someone's phone with back-to-back messages trying to explain how they hurt you, trying to make them see what they lost, you're not making them miss you. You're actually doing the opposite. You're showing them that you're still there. You're showing them that you still care more than they do. And let me tell you something, baby. People don't appreciate desperation. They appreciate discipline. You got to have the strength to say what you need to say in the fewest words possible and let that silence carry the weight. Because words can only do so much. Presence is what people remember, and absence is what makes them feel it. A short text like, "Hope you're doing well. Just wanted to say I'm focused on myself right now. Take care," can hit harder than 3 paragraphs of explaining your pain. Why? Because it shows growth. It shows control. It shows you're not trying to pull them back in. You're just letting them know you've shifted. And that shift, that's what leaves them unsettled. Now, I know what some of y'all are thinking. Steve, but I got so much to say. I want to tell him everything, how much I loved him, how much I gave, how much he hurt me. And I get it. Trust me, I do. But if he didn't listen to you when you were right there pouring love into him daily, what makes you think he's going to hear you now in a 2,000-word message? Nah, don't waste your breath. Save your dignity. Keep your power. The real strength comes in saying less and letting your silence do the talking. See, silence is uncomfortable for them, not for you. Silence makes them sit with their thoughts. Silence gives them space to wonder what's going on in your mind. It makes them realize that for the first time, you're not available. And trust me, when a man realizes he can't reach you like he used to, that he's no longer the center of your emotional world, that's when he starts to miss you. You want to get someone's attention? Don't argue, don't beg, don't explain. Say one powerful thing, then go quiet. Let them feel that emptiness where your energy used to be. Because that gap, that's what makes him remember how much space you filled in his life. And not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And here's the cold truth. The people who truly care, the ones who genuinely love you, they'll notice that shift. They'll feel it. They'll miss it. You don't have to scream to be heard. You don't have to write an essay to make a statement. Sometimes the most powerful sentence is the one that shows you've let go, that you're at peace, that you're no longer chasing closure. You've become your own closure. You see, what people remember most about you is not always what you said. It's how they felt when you were silent. It's what they realized when you stopped talking. And if you say less with strength, you force them to listen harder, to pay attention, to think about what you're not saying anymore. So stop trying to type your way into someone's heart. Don't drop a novel on the phone hoping to change their mind. Be concise, be calm, be collected. Say one meaningful thing, then fall back. Because that, my friend, is how you make someone miss you. Not with noise, but with absence. Not with desperation, but with quiet confidence. You give them just enough to wonder, and then you disappear. And when you do it right, they don't just miss your words. They miss your presence, your light, your essence. Let me tell you something that'll change the way you handle every relationship, every breakup, every comeback in your life. Peace is power. I'm talking real power. See, when you start valuing your peace more than your pride, your peace more than being right, your peace more than keeping somebody who ain't good for you around, that's when your life levels up. Now let's talk real for a minute. When a relationship ends or goes left, our first instinct is usually chaos. You want to react. You want to clap back. You want to hit him with all the things he did wrong, all the things he didn't appreciate. You want him to feel what you feel and hurt, confused, angry. But let me ask you something. When has reacting in chaos ever brought you peace? When has yelling ever healed a broken bond? When has pouring your soul into someone who's already disconnected from you ever worked the way you hoped it would? See, that man don't miss your anger. He don't miss your arguments. He don't miss the tension. What he misses is your peace. That soft space you used to give him. That calm energy you carried when you were at your best. That support, that patience, that real grown woman peace that made him feel safe, even when he didn't know how to say it out loud. And once he loses that, once you protect that peace instead of offering it to someone who mishandled it, that's when he feels your absence in the deepest way. Listen, peace is not weakness. It's not silence out of fear. It's not walking away because you gave up. Peace is power because it means you chose yourself. It means you decided that your mental health, your emotional clarity, and your future were more important than trying to hold on to something or someone that constantly left you drained. Now, a lot of women think being strong means showing you can fight for love, and yes, there's strength in that too. But the strongest women I've ever seen, they didn't scream, they didn't throw shade, they didn't get loud, they got quiet. They said, you know what? I love me more than I hate what you did to me. And they walked away with dignity. They walked away with their peace intact. And that silence, that self-respect, that's what hit different. Let me tell you, There's nothing more attractive, nothing more unforgettable than a woman who can be calm in the middle of chaos. Not because she don't care, not because she's cold, but because she refuses to let someone else's inconsistency disturb her spirit. That's powerful, that's rare. And when a man loses that, it haunts him because he knows deep down he may never find that kind of peace again. You want to know how to make a man miss you like crazy? You don't do it by being loud. You don't do it by trying to out-text him or out-argue him. You do it by pulling your peace away. You let him feel what life is like without your calm. You let him sit in that space where your encouragement used to be, your laughter used to be, your love used to live, and now all of that is gone. Not in anger, not in but in grace. Now that takes emotional maturity, that takes strength, that takes a woman who knows who she is and what she deserves. And let me tell you, men remember that kind of woman, not because she left a mess behind, but because she left nothing but silence, a clean exit, a graceful goodbye. That's what stays on his mind. And here's the real truth, baby. Peace is your greatest form of revenge. Not revenge in the petty sense, but revenge in the healing sense. When you choose peace, you show the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you don't need chaos to feel powerful. You don't need attention to feel loved. You don't need a toxic cycle to prove your worth. You found your power in letting go. He says, I still love myself even if you didn't. Peace says, I choose happiness over history. Peace says, I don't have time to prove my value to someone who couldn't see it the first time. That's not weakness, baby. That's a whole new level of strength. That's a woman who ain't just trying to be heard. She's choosing to be free. So the next time someone tries to pull you into drama, tries to make you question yourself, tries to stir up your spirit with confusion and mixed signals, you stop, breathe, and remember, peace is power. Protect it like your life depends on it. Because honestly, it does. The moment you stop trading your peace for people, for approval, for attention, that's the moment everything shifts. That's when your energy gets strong. That's when you start attracting better. That's when they start realizing what they lost. And trust me, when a man loses a woman who brought him peace, he misses her forever. Let me give you the realest relationship lesson you'll ever hear. If you want someone to miss you, stop trying to argue your way into their heart. Stop thinking that the louder you get, the more they'll finally understand. Because I'm telling you right now, it's not the argument they remember, it's the absence. You can yell, cry, explain, pour out every emotion you've got, and they still might not get it. But when you go silent, when you walk away with grace, when your energy is just gone from their life, baby, that hits different. That's when they start to feel what they didn't value. That's when the weight of your absence becomes louder than anything you could have ever said. See, arguing makes noise, but absence makes impact. And we confuse the two. You think if you say the right thing, send the right paragraph, call them at the right moment, they'll finally wake up and realize what they had in you? But let me ask you something. How many times did you try already? How many times did you repeat yourself, hoping this time they'd hear you? And how many times did they change? Exactly. That's why your power isn't in one more conversation. It's not in a dramatic exit. It's not in proving a point. Your power is in letting them feel what life is like without your love, your support, your presence. Because when you're constantly there, even in anger, even in frustration, they still feel connected. They still have a string attached to you. But when you cut that string and step back, that's when the reflection begins. That's when the missing starts. Let me break it down like this. Arguing is emotional currency. You're spending your energy, you're investing your time, you're giving them your attention. And the truth is, if someone doesn't care about fixing things, they're not moved by your effort. They might even feed off the drama. Some people don't miss you, they just miss the access, the control, the attention. So when you argue, you're still giving them exactly what they want. But when you take all of that away, when you stop texting, stop explaining, stop justifying, stop showing up for someone who stopped showing up for you, that silence, that peace, that separation, that's what speaks the loudest. You want him to miss you? Then disappear in the places he expects you to show up. Be the one who doesn't respond. Be the one who doesn't chase. Be the one who doesn't send a "we need to talk" message. Be the one who just lets go. Not out of bitterness, not out of revenge, but out of self-worth. Let him feel that gap where your energy used to be. Let him scroll through his phone and realize your name doesn't light it up anymore. Let him go out and notice your voice isn't in his ear hyping him up. Let him wake up and feel that silence where your good morning text used to sit. Because when all that's gone, that's when the memory sets in. That's when he starts to realize just how much space you filled. People don't miss the argument, they miss the love that followed it. They miss the forgiveness, the comfort, the consistency. So when you stop giving those things, not in punishment, but in peace, that's what makes the absence feel so heavy. Let me tell you something real. If your presence didn't make him change, your absence just might, but only if it's real. Only if you actually pull back for you, not to manipulate him. See, absence only works when it's rooted in self-respect, when you're not just trying to teach him a lesson, but when you finally learned yours. And let me make one thing clear. It's not about making someone suffer. It's about giving yourself space. Space to think, space to grow, space to heal. Because the longer you argue, the longer you stay stuck in a cycle that's not going anywhere. But when you remove yourself, you give both of you the chance to either realize the value or the closure. You don't have to explain what they lost. Just walk away and let them figure it out. Trust me, when someone has had real love, real loyalty, real peace, and they lose it, they remember. Even if they act like they don't. Even if they move on quick. That absence stays with them. That silence echoes. And late at night, when there's nobody else around to distract them, that's when it hits. Not your last text, not your last words, but your absence, your peace, your silence. That's what stays. So if you're sitting there thinking about sending one more message, making one more call, pleading one more time, don't. Pull back. Go quiet. Let your absence be the answer. Let your silence remind them that your energy was a privilege, not a guarantee. Because at the end of the day, what leaves the biggest impact ain't noise, it's what's no longer there. You.